Welcome everyone to Math 118, Section W1 in the fall of 2024. You're listening to me, Alan Murphy. I'm your instructor for the course. I will make a face-to-face video where I introduce myself soon. Having some technical difficulties right now, but I did want to get out this screen recording just to kind of give you an overview of our course and get you started here in this first week where we have a short few days before the Labor Day weekend. So just so you know, the landing place for our course is going to be Canvas, and as you can see, I've brought up our Canvas welcome page here. Actually, let me go to the home screen and show you what it's going to look like when you log in. When you come to our course in Canvas, you'll always see this landing page, but at the top, any announcements that we've made recently will be listed there. Usually it shows the last 3 announcements. And so please visit Canvas often so that you can see those announcements, and also you'll see below I have the links to all the important information for the course. Once I'm done recording this, I'll put a link to the video right there for the fall overview video, and then there's a link to our syllabus and our syllabus quiz, which happens to be due this Friday. But then you'll see third on the list here is the link to the Lumen Learning online homework management system, and this is a required purchase for the course. We have a course enrollment ID and then an enrollment key that you'll use when you enroll in the course. Please do this right away because that's where most of our course content is contained. You do get a 14-day trial period before the payment is due, so if you haven't made arrangements to pay for this yet, that's okay. Please enroll anyway. You'll have 2 weeks to get that sorted out. If you've already made the purchase, then of course enroll so that you can get started. You can see that I've got links for a few other things that are important for this week. We do have some orientation assignments due this week, as well as one math assignment, and I'll explain more about that in a second. But down here toward the bottom of my list, you'll see that I made a link to a week 1 checklist. And I'm not sure if I'll have one every week for you, but I certainly wanted to have one out this week. This is a list of all the things that we want to get done here in the first few days. And as you check the boxes, they will get lined out, crossed out, so that you'll know you'll have them done. To do that, though, you'll have to make your own copy of this. If you don't know how to make a copy, there's a little video here you can click on to show you how to do that. But essentially, we want to register for the Lumen Learning Online Homework Management System, the OHM. You are going to take a student information survey. Or inventory. It's just a Google form where I ask you some information to help me get a better picture of who you are, what sort of tools you have available to you, and why you're taking the course. And then, as I mentioned, there's a syllabus quiz. Please read the syllabus first, and then at some point in the next few days, take the syllabus quiz. That one is also a Google form. The rest of this stuff is located in the Lumen Learning system. So you'll have to enroll in the course and get that set up before you can do the student tutorial, post in the required discussion forum, which is just making an introduction, and then completing that homework assignment down there at the bottom. So this is just a Google Doc I made to kind of give you a list of things to get done, but you won't really get into the meat of the course until you enroll in Lumen Learning. Now, when you do that, you should see something that looks like this. This is the student view for our course. There's not a lot listed here. So far, I've only posted week 1, but by the end of this week, I'll have the next few weeks listed so that you'll have an idea of where we're headed, and if you want to work ahead, you'll be able to do that. Anything that I post as an announcement on Canvas, I will also post in this section called Announcements. And as we accumulate announcements, I'll save them, but I'll put them in a archive folder inside of this so that we won't have such a long list. But everything will be there. It'll be posted on Canvas and posted here. The week 1 checklist that I mentioned is linked here. And then the assignments that we need to complete are below. So for the orientation, I already mentioned this. There's a student inventory, student information inventory, a syllabus quiz. There's a tutorial that helps you work through learning how to manage or enter answers into the OHM system. For that particular tutorial, you get to try the question basically as many times as you need to get it right. So I want everybody to ace that thing. But if you try it a couple times and you keep getting wrong answers, just send me a note and I will talk you through answering that question correctly so you can get the full credit. The goal for that assignment is really just to teach you how to maneuver and enter answers into the system. I did mention that we have a required discussion forum, and that you can click on here and make your post. I've already made a initial post, and you just kind of follow my lead, answer a few questions, just so that your classmates can get to know you. If there's anything else you want to ask about or have a discussion about in terms of the course informations or procedures, you can post those in this open discussion area. And then we do have an assignment due this week. It's just a review lesson. It's called Lesson 1.1. And there's a reading from the textbook that you can click on, and also some videos that you can watch to help you get ready to complete the assignment. The system I've enabled something called a late pass. So each week we're going to have things due, but for some reason, if you run into issues with your schedule or you fall a little behind, there is a buffer built in. So this homework 1.1 is the first time that we'll be able to make use of that if needed. So this homework, I've made the due date Friday, the 30th, but for whatever reason, and I don't need to know the reason, if you don't finish before Friday at 11:59 p.m., you can ask for a late pass, which is essentially a 1-week extension. So if you get all the orientation stuff done, but you don't finish this lesson yet, use the extension and it'll be due the following Friday. So just realize that that's there. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as I bring up the course syllabus. But I wanted to point that out to you now when you get into the system, that that particular assignment, although it's due Friday, if you need it, please make use of the late pass, at least so you can get the idea of how those late passes work. Okay, this video is starting to drag on here. I'm not trying to hold you too long, but I do want to just briefly bring up the syllabus. So I'm going back to Canvas. I'm going to click on the course syllabus. Let me zoom in on this thing a little bit and just run through some highlights. So I give you my information there. My office hours are listed. I have class on Mondays and Wednesdays on campus. And so that's when I'll also be holding my office hours. But for the online students, if those times don't work, or if you need to make contact with me at another time, you could just make an appointment. We can chat over email or Zoom or through the discussion forums, but I will make sure that you have access to me and we'll get your questions answered. As I mentioned, Lumen Learning is required for the course. It's also, I mentioned here that we're going to use a tool called the Desmos online graphing calculator. You can also use a physical calculator if you'd like. What I wanted to show you in this video, though, is just a little quick comment about grades, and then you can read this over in more detail. So our grade is going to be made up of these 6 categories. So orientation, which is those things we're going to finish this week, not counting the homework assignment, those are going to make up 5% of your overall semester grade. The discussion forums that we have during the semester, we'll complete the first one this week, that introduction. Those are going to accumulate to make up 10% of your grade. On the online homework system on Lumen Learning, we will have homework assignments like homework 1.1, and together those will make up 20% of your grade. And I do note here that the lowest score is going to be dropped for the homeworks. Same thing with quizzes. The quizzes, some of them will be through the system, and some of them I think I may have you do some handwritten work to submit it, and I'll show you how to do that through the system as well. But again, your lowest quiz score will be dropped. We'll probably have around 7 quizzes, depending on how this semester goes. We will have 3 midterm exams, and those will amount to 25% of your grade. And then at the end of the semester, we'll have a final exam, and that will be 20% of your grade. The midterms account for 25% of your grade. The grading scale is listed here. It's standard. And then what I will do, just so you know, is when your grade is calculated, and those grades will all be available in the OHM system. So that's the grade book that we're going to use. Whatever it turns out to be, I'm just going to round it to the nearest whole number. So if it's 87.4, that rounds to 87. If it's 89.6, that rounds to 90, and so on. On the next page, there is a discussion about the late passes, so please read that over, as well as descriptions of all the different categories that we're going to have in making up your grades. So please continue to read that syllabus over. I'm not going to spend time reading that to you in the video, but I wanted to point out to you that this is what it's going to look like. And before you take that syllabus quiz, please read this. I know you're going to have other questions. Please ask them early and often. You can contact me via email. You can post things in the discussion forums in the online learning system, or you can send me a note on Canvas as well. But I am here to answer your questions. Now, if you've made it through the entire video, I have a little treat for you. I'm going to give you a bonus point on the syllabus quiz. So the last question on the syllabus quiz says, what is the magic word? And the magic word is integral. Later in the semester, you'll learn what that means in terms of calculus. But for now, it's our magic word. Please enter it in all caps if you want to get the bonus point. Okay, that's it for this video. This is just a brief overview. It's meant to get you headed in the right directions, but you may have questions, and I want you to ask those when they come up. And then I'll also post a video where you get to see my face, and I'll make introductions. I'll do that shortly. Probably won't be up until Wednesday evening as we get rolling here in the semester. But in the meantime, have a good start to the semester, and I look forward to working with you. Take care.